This is something every rural landowner needs. What is it? Well, let's jump into this together and I'll explain more. Well, here we have it set up. Basically what we're going to do is screen some topsoil. I've got a little pile of topsoil over there and I've got a big pile of topsoil behind me, but it's got a lot of debris in it. So what we want to do is we want to screen it through here into the wagon, and then we're going to take it out in the front and fill some holes in the front yard. Now to build this, it's pretty simple. I just used some 2x4s as well as some just screening. Now I used 3 screws on each end and just butt joined the 2x4s, so nothing fancy there. As far as the screen goes, what I did is I used crown staples, my air stapler, to staple this to the back side of the 2x4s. So all pretty straightforward, simple design, and it's going to help me screen some topsoil. So let's go ahead, let's start screening some topsoil.
So here we are out back grabbing our first bucket load of topsoil. Now, earlier in the week we received quite a bit of rain, so this topsoil is still pretty damp, and damp means heavy. So as I approach the screen, I'm rather cautious. As you can see, I got a good half bucket load, and that's probably 400 or 500 pounds of dirt easy. I've got a bucket lifting capacity of about 1,000 pounds, and like I say, that's over half full. So I'm being careful as I dump this on here, because while I put a lot of staples in the screen, it's surely not going to hold 500 pounds of wet material. So I dump a little bit on here, and then what I'm going to do is hop off the tractor and start screening some of this by hand, just to see how it goes. So one of the things with this, you can kind of see the clumps. There's a lot of clay in this soil. So what I'm doing is working out the clumps as I'm going through this. And again, if the soil wasn't so damp, a lot more of this would have screened through much easier. So again, you can see how wet it is. Now there's also some stones and sticks and other debris here. And one of the things I'm going to do is after this, dump this out, and I'll create a pile off to the side and just kind of tip it up on edge on the sawhorses. So none of this will go to waste. So the material which I don't use in the front yard will be great fill for the back, and then I'll get some cheap, good topsoil to fill in some of the holes in the front, and it's a win-win situation with this screen. So for not a lot of money, you have a simple and easy way to get some quality topsoil as well as some fill for some holes in the back. So let's jump into this and see how it all went.
Okay, so we've unloaded probably about 2/3 of the bucket. I've got about a cart full. You can see the debris. A lot of this topsoil has clay in it, or clumps of clay, and that's what you're seeing here. Now, we got a rain about a week ago, so inside the pile is wet, so I'm still getting a lot of clumps, but that's what I want to do. I want to get the clumps out to a fine mix of topsoil down below in the cart, which I have, which has worked out great. And again, you see we have roots and we got rocks and all kinds of stuff. So what we'll do is when we go to take this out of here, we'll flip this back and dump all this stuff on the ground, and we get a pile of it. We'll use it for fill somewhere in a hole in the property. So anyways, this was probably about 25 bucks to make, and it's super handy, and I'll use it for years. Now, the one thing you have to be careful with the machine is this can only handle so much weight. So as you kind of saw, I offloaded a bit of it by hand, and again, that's because it's so wet and we have so much of this leftover material, because you don't want to, pull the screen out from the staples. So anyways, hopefully you found this handy, and again, this is one of the big tools a rural landowner needs to have. And with that, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe below, and we'll catch you in the next video where we design another cool subcompact tractor project for rural landowners. Cheers.